Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lesego Mothowamodimo. As you can see, today I am not alone. I am being joined by the amazing GEMIMA PHALANE that I met through Facebook. So I've invited GEMIMA to this space today as a guest on the topic we'll be discussing. So before we delve into the topic, GEMIMA, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for the invite, Lesego. I am truly honored. My name is GEMIMA PHALANE, and yes, me and Lesego, we met through Facebook, and yes, we decided that we're gonna have this powerful conversation. So thank you again for having me.
It's a pleasure. GEMIMA has actually been having this conversation on Facebook through a challenge that she has been running. The challenge has been titled 7 Traps That Parents Unconsciously Fall Into. And I've been part of the movement that is that challenge. And I thought it's necessary to invite her here so that we can bring this conversation here and open it up to more people. So without further ado, GEMIMA, your challenge is titled 7 Traps That Parents Unconsciously Fall Into.
Yes.
What does it mean to actually unconsciously fall into a trap?
Oh, okay. No, thank you for that question. I titled it that simply because we as parents are not aware that we are actually falling, and hence I said traps. It's exactly that, because we are not aware that we are parenting in a way that we copied our previous, or our parents rather, and our parents doing that. So hence I said traps, because parenting is supposed to be a one-on-one thing, not something that you get from someone and you take it and you run with it. So we are unconsciously falling into that, because obviously if you are a parent, you brought this soul to the world and you definitely love that this beautiful soul. So you won't, I believe that a parent will never hurt a child intentionally. So hence I'm saying unconsciously. We are not aware that we are actually falling on those traps. Yeah, that's where the
Oh yeah, I've been falling into traps, and I'm glad you're pointing out that it is falling, because when my parenting journey started, I also realized that a lot of the things that I was teaching my child were not even my own things. It was just things that I grew up being told, don't do this, do that, and everything. So I was passing it down onto my own children. So I think let us go into the trap that you identified as trap number 1, and you've also labeled it the illusion of control.
Yes.
What on earth is the illusion of control, Jemima?
Lesego, parents in nature are very defensive. Very, very defensive. We are very defensive in nature, and we believe that we need to control. We are supposed, it's a must that we need to control these beings. And that comes from the point that we fall pregnant for 9 months.
Yes. Yes.
Going through all these morning sicknesses and then we went to labor and we gave birth. Based on that, we believe that this is mine.
It's ours.
It's
my child.
It's my child, and I have every right to control this being. And the truth is, and I know most parents maybe won't understand this, because I was there at some point. We only sort of transport to bring these people here to this.
So by transport you mean like we are the taxis, we are the vehicles that bring the children on earth.
But they are not ours. It's just that we are trusted with these souls. So now, by thinking that we have the right to control, I don't know if I'm making sense. By thinking that, then that's where we start to fall now into these traps. So we believe that we really need to control our kids, but we need to understand that we only have small capacity in terms of controlling, but we actually need to influence them. Because, for an example, let's say you are sitting, or maybe you are inside the house, and you observing your child playing, and then the child, it seems like, is gonna get into some
Trouble
or something, and then you want to go out to save them, and then you realize that it's locked.
Yes.
You can't even go out.
Yes.
There's nothing you can do, but what you can do is to influence the child to get out of danger. And should it happen that the child will end up falling into that danger or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, the thing that you're pointing out now, Jemima, very, very powerful. So, as parents, we have only been entrusted with bringing our children to end. That is what I'm taking away from what you're saying. The second thing that came out for me very strongly is that the children are not actually our own. We don't own them. They are their own people, and they are here to do their own work, and we are just the vehicles that bring them here.
Yes.
We are no different from the bus that brings a loaf to Woolies on every morning, because its job is just to deliver the bread. And then the last element that I also picked up from what you pointed out now is the control versus influence.
Yes.
I want you to expand a little bit on that, and maybe to also give us some more examples.
All right, no thanks. You know, when you control something, it's effortful. Think about it.
There's a lot of effort.
There's a lot of effort when you control, and it means anxiety again.
Yeah.
You know, and when you are anxious, it means you are in the future. You are thinking of what might happen to this soul, and what if that thing not going to happen? Think about it. So there's a lot of effort. So, and by controlling, it means we're stepping out of the now, and the now is very important in a sense that it is where we're supposed to connect with these souls. So if we are not in the now, we miss that. You know. So we go to the future.
Yes.
But then if we influence, it's totally different. We influence, and we know that, we understand that this being is going to guide me as a parent. I am not going to control it. You know, she or he is going to guide me. So that's the difference. I don't know if
yes, it's crystal clear. I think another thing that I'm realizing in what you're mentioning on the difference between control and influence is how sometimes when you grow up, I know this is very common for Africans, that sometimes you will grow up with your aunt and many of your other relatives that you end up considering as your parents, because the nature of parenting, from what I'm hearing from you, I stand to be corrected, is that it's actually about influence more than it is about control, which is why I, as Lesego, can stand many years later and say, even though my parents is so and so and so and so, these other people are also my parents because of the ways that they have influenced me.
Exactly. And going back to that example, or what I've pointed out earlier on, to say, because of we birthed these souls, we become so...
We hold on to the child.
And we don't even loosen up to give this soul an opportunity to be influenced by other people. You know, there's this term that says it takes a village
to raise a child.
Yes. And indeed, literally. But if you believe that this is my thing and only me, then you are going to miss out on
the influence, which is a powerful element for raising a child into a holistic being. Yeah, no, like, I, for one, am very guilty of controlling my child. I'm not even going to front. I've done it many times over. Little things like, you know, when your child is learning how to walk, we always try to control the process by either padding the child's knees so that the child doesn't scratch themselves, or you forbid your child from climbing the tree because you think, no, if the child climbs the tree, if the child climbs the tree, they're going to fall and so no.
It's you know, my daughter, when she was between 4 and 5 years, She chose her own outfit. We were going somewhere. We were going somewhere, and this was the so-called classy people that we were visiting.
That you were visiting.
Yes. And it was, I think, around November. It was very hot, ne? And I chose this colorful outfit, this
bright dress.
Yes. She went and chose a tracksuit pant and the old one with a sleeveless thingy top, right? And I'm like, how on earth? You're not going to wear this? No, maybe, but this is what I want to wear, And then the controlling mommy started to say, my way. This is my house, my rules. So you are not going to wear that. This is what I took out for you. And well, it happened. She wore the colorful dress, but I am telling you, and my daughter is very bubbly. At around those age, she was even worse. When we get there, we were so disconnected, like disconnected. And again, I wanted these people to see how
see your bubbly child,
know. But because of that controlling, I mean, what's the worst that can happen if I was gonna leave her like that?
I know. Hey, yeah, I know. As you're speaking now, relating this example, I was just thinking in my head that I'm also very guilty of control. And I'll tell you one thing, one element in which I've controlled my child, because there's many examples, but we could spend the whole day here. Another example is food. I go, I cook, I put the best effort. I'm the mommy. I decide, okay, this is what we're eating today. And then my child decides, actually, I only want a quarter of this food. And then he pushes the plate back and says to me, Mommy, I'm full now. And I'm thinking, how can you be full now when I sweat and I put all this effort in your plate and I made sure that you have all the food, the food chart, carbohydrates, everything is in there, but now he's refusing to eat the food. And that, for me, I don't think it was ever my decision, in the sense that I come from a school of thought where you eat and finish everything that they put on the plate for you. It is a sign of showing appreciation that you've been given food, and again, it has even been extended to, it's a sign of respect.
Of course.
Even so that sometimes when you visit, and they give you a plate of food, you can't refuse the plate of food.
You're scared. Yes. Because you don't want to fail.
You don't want to
fail your parents. It happens like that. And one thing that I want to emphasize is that my wish or my prayer is that parents get awareness. I don't want us to feel guilty, because I know guilt is gonna come. I also feel guilty, but we must just remind ourselves that we took these from our ancestors, from our parents and all that, We must just be, so if we are aware, I believe the guilt is gonna start fading away.
Yes. No, I'm glad that you mentioned that. So as one tip to the parents right now is to acquire awareness.
Yes.
Because with that awareness, then we'll be able to deal through it, and eventually the guilt will dissipate.
Absolutely. Because now we know, now we are aware, but it's not like after here, you're going to stop immediately to control your child. It's going to continue, but you're going to do it with awareness. And once you are aware, you're going to say, no, Lesego, what is it that you are missing in the present? Because when you control, remember, you go to the future. So you're going to quickly come back and say, hey, I am missing the benefits of the now. What is it that I need to get from my child in the now? So let me just come back. So it's a journey. It's a journey.
I'm glad that you're saying it's a journey, Jemima. And I want to end our conversation here and to just ask you, what other projects are you busy with? What else can you tell us about Jemima? If anyone is interested in having more conversations with Jemima, how do they reach you?
Oh, all right. Thank you for that. On the 17th of April, I'll be having online seminar regarding this topic that you're talking about, conscious parenting. And I'm going to go deeper, like deeper, and then explain, or rather bring to parents awareness of how, because it doesn't help to say we're not supposed to do things like this, but not coming up with solutions.
Yes.
So I will be guiding parents on that, you know, and sharing my story as well. So that will be happening on the 17th of April 2021. So should it happen that you get this video after the 17th of April, it's, the session is going to be recorded, so you can still get that that seminar, you know. And another thing is that I have on my book, my upcoming book, Embrace Your Wounds and Realize Your Purpose. It's soon coming out. So I have a section that I'm talking about conscious parenting. So there will be more details on that part as well regarding the parenting issues, you know. So yeah, my book it's soon coming out. I'll start advertising, and I'll drop my details here so that you can know how to go about getting the book and also joining the upcoming seminar.
Perfect. Thank you so much for watching. I will put all of Jemima's contact details on the description box so that you are able to contact her directly. This was only part 1 of a 7-part series, so we are going to continue with the rest of the conversation while we touch on the other traps. Thank you so much, Jemima.
Thank you, Lesego.
It's a pleasure.